What's up?
Hey, Scorpio.
Okay, so we are here for the Scorpio full moon in Scorpio reading. My words got all jumbly. This is happening right in your emotional home turf, so please go ahead and pause the video and watch the universal agenda. It's where we put our heart, soul, and guts of these readings. We put a lot of research and time into those to write pertinent information so that people can really get a big idea of what these readings are for.
That's right.
So, she's going to start.
Anyways, got the first card for you. It is number 40, Sacred Fool. The Fool is a great rebel, able to thwart convention and tell the truth without restraint. Your heart is a wonderful, powerful, sacred fool. It cares not for the right way to do things. It cares not for what the mind says is real and not real. It lives according to an inner wisdom that cannot be dictated to or be controlled by anything. It loves, it lives, and it is what it is. This oracle heralds a time now or imminent when you will feel inspired, alive, and passionate for what you can offer to the world. It says to you, don't try to be appropriate, don't try to be socially acceptable, and worry about what others may think about what you are doing. Just be. If you want to wear a mad hat while doing so, fine.
A mad hat?
Yeah. That seems pretty appropriate from Scorpio. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. We have the World card over here. She's, because this card can also be the hermaphrodite. This is a mercurial symbol inside the wreath, which can also be the double Ouroboros, and it's an alchemical card, really. But this is the final card of the major arcana. And this is speaking about the Fool's journey coming to an end, where he's gone through many cycles of and phases of life, and you've come to the part where you've learned the lessons and you're graduating more or less. So the World card is about going into the world with what you've learned on your journey and being able to share it with others. Like, that is your mission at this point, is to go out and to the world, which is really a really weird message to be having to deliver in the middle of a pandemic when people are just not supposed to go out into the world. So this is a way of maybe putting yourself out there in different ways where you're actually able to be that sacred fool and be in your spirit and expressing yourself regardless of how it looks to other people. You're finally finding your vein of expression for yourself, because you're fully in your element and things are just sort of busting open wide for you.
I like it. Now I have card number 14 for you, and it's going beyond normal. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go within the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry.
Mm-hmm.
The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. It is less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. So basically the phrase, I know you guys have heard of it, is mad scientist. That phrase didn't come out of nowhere. They had to be a little crazy in order to come up with something so insanely great.
I would say the North Node, South Node switch is mad scientist all over the place. You have to have the Gemini and the Sagittarius bigger picture kind of making connections, right, and having theories and philosophies in order to even bake an idea to have a theory.
Right.
So, so weird.
I'm taking that as it's time to be the mad scientist, but don't open your mouth too much. It's time to kind of stand a little bit behind.
Like, this is the Nine of Wands, where the man looks like, if you're not watching, if you're just listening, he's standing against a wall of, rods or wands, and he's holding one, and he sort of just looks like he's been clobbered. Like, somebody has snuck up on his six and, walked him over the head, for sure. He's looks beat up. Like, he's been defending this point over and over and over. It's kind of gotten a little boring. This is like the Sagittarian that's just kind of really pushed to the limit and bored and just wants to bounce. Or just fighting till the day he dies. Or either or. Like, he's going to bounce or he's going to defend this till the day he dies. One of the two. This is not the most, this is a burdensome joining the world. This is like, being out around people does not feel good.
Yeah.
You're kind of regretting that you have to start to put yourself out there again because you feel like these old wounds are holding you back. Like, you're just in pain. So there's a sacred fool thing, an element to this where I've never known a comedian, let's say, to not have some sort of contrasting on the inside where they're a funny person, but they're also one of the darkest people you would ever meet. Like, their humor comes from some deep-seated pain. So this is learning, I would say, going out in public, even though you might not really feel like it, or putting yourself out there, even though it hurts, and sharing what wisdom you've come to have.
Yeah.
And finding a way to make your experience become juicy again after feeling beat up. Like, there's a step-to-step basis where there's a way that this like, the world card is a Saturn card, but yet it's telling you to go out into the world. So there's this juxtaposition of boundaries and having new boundaries in the world and finding your way through it, even if it feels burdensome, even if it makes you feel like you're not the most comfortable, in order to be able to better serve your experience and be true to your heart.
All right, Scorpio.
Wow.
That concludes your full moon in Scorpio reading from us, and we will see you in the next one.
Hope you are okay, guys. It's rough.
Bye.
Bye.